Hello and welcome to the Higher Lows podcast, a 5th Ed Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your Dungeon Master, and with me is Laurie Crawford.
Welcome to the episode.
Next up we've got Daniel Fletcher.
Good evening.
Middle of the pack we've got Meeraiya.
I might also be able to see in the dark like me, but I swing a sword so much better than him.
Over the hump we got Mimbo Wang.
Yeah, here I am.
And last but not least we've got Lizzie McPherson.
Hey, lovelies.
Previously on the Higher Lows podcast, the group continued delving deeper into the Ankeg-infested tunnels, attempting to stay quiet in their approach, but not having too much initial success. Some of the group could hear activity ahead, and as they got even closer, Callum could make out that things were being moved up ahead. On their final approach, courtesy of an absolutely terrible perception check on behalf of the monster's part, they were able to get a quick look at it before moving away to plan their attack. They attempted to use the scavenged octopus head as a distraction, which may have worked momentarily, but within moments a battle had erupted. Tweaked used magic to attempt to get closer to the unconscious dwarven body, but was nearly foiled due to some intense acid attacks. Baracus and Callum attempted to distract it on its flanks on their approach, but weren't able to take its attention completely away from Tweak as he ventured deeper into the clutch of eggs. Thistle and Candle used range attacks and circled the monster to prevent its acid from attacking too many people, while Chuck elected to keep as much distance as possible between himself and the beast while using ranged psychic attacks. After Thistle was able to light it up with a fairy fire, this gave the group the tactical advantage they needed to turn the tide of battle, and then thanks to some massive hits, particularly from Baracus and Callum, but they weren't the only ones, the group were finally able to do enough damage to slay this Ankeg queen. And this is where we will begin, with the group standing in the Ankeg egg clutch, with many of the eggs now badly damaged from the queen's acid. What would you like to do?
I say we grab the dwarf and we grab an egg and we get the hell out of here.
There's a light over there. Just over there. It's peering in. Can you see it?
Are you sure?
I am sure.
You can give me
Show me.
perception checks. It's so basically, now that you're on the back of this nest, if you sort of go a little bit further, you look all the way to the west in the direction, like just further down this tunnel, there is just a little bit of light in the far distance. Give me perception checks to see if you can make out anything else.
21 from Thistle.
Okay. Anyone else? Try and have a look.
I currently have Sabras over my shoulder because I don't know how much noise we just made or how much trembling we just made. We've got to go.
Yep. So, Thistle, with your 21, you can see the sort of, you can hear you can hear movement up ahead, and in the ray of light up ahead, you can see every now and then the fleeting shadows of an Ankeg moving through. You can even make out the green of their skin. The light itself doesn't seem like sunlight, and you're not sure what its origin might be. It could be sunlight, like refracted off something else, but it doesn't quite seem right, and it would also be odd for it to be sunlight. It doesn't seem strong light, and that doesn't seem to be the origin of the light. You can't make out exactly where it's coming from, but it's still a fair ways away. You venture that it's probably about 250 feet, maybe even more, but at least that down this tunnel, and you would have to go through this tunnel to the west, and you can hear movement further down that way.
Okay, interesting.
We need to investigate.
We do, but I don't know what the rest of the party wants to do.
It'd be nice to look at what it is, but I don't think we have I need a bit more blood in my body to be able to do that first.
I say we need to go back and deliver this Sabras and then come back and investigate.
I'm curious. I can go have a look, but be dangerous.
That could be a good option if you do a bit of a retcon for us. That would be appreciated. Maybe it'd be best to go in yourself.
Be very welcome to.
I'm faster than most of y'all, so I'll get a little bit closer and see what I can see. But if I feel like they're on me, I'm just gonna get out of here. I recommend y'all get I'll catch up with y'all maybe, unless someone wants to come along. Maybe the kid, someone sneaky.
Yes, Chuck.
What do you reckon, kid? You want to come have a look, or you want to go back with the group?
I ain't really good at sneaking, to be honest.
I can help you out a little bit, but if you're not feeling confident, I'll just take it and see how I'll go.
Well, my suggestion is that I make you invisible so you're better at it, and then I'll keep psychic contact so that you can relay what you see.
Well, that'll work. I can actually make myself invisible in a pinch. Trick y'all who don't know about me, but I'll take yours. You got a spare?
Yeah. And Chuck reaches out and touches him, and he turns invisible, and then he feels in his mind my voice saying, "Hey yo."
All right then. You guys get out of here. It'll probably be for the best. I'll catch up with y'all.
We'll meet you back at the forge.
All right, I'll probably go past the dwarf. If you want to stay there, I'll see you there. But if you go back to the forge, all right.
Good luck.
You don't see him nod.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do actually.
Good old blindsight.
Well, let's get this dwarf back to that drunken dwarf bloke. Does somebody want to bring him back?
So he's already on. Baracus is already carrying him.
I mean, we should probably wake him up. I mean, he could be dying as we speak. Can we do some medical attention right now?
You could do a medicine check, or you could do some sort of healing. Those are both valid options.
Who's good at medicine? I'm not exactly good at that sort of thing.
I'm somewhat good at medicine, but then we've also got a couple of the guys in the group here who've been a bit damaged from that fight as well.
Well, just check on him. You don't have to heal him.
Alright, well, I'll check on him. So I'll roll a medicine.
Yeah, I know he's missing an arm and a leg.
Thank you, Dr. Tweak. Rolled an 18 for a medicine.
Yeah, so stable in a very bad way with missing their left arm but after the elbow, missing their right leg under the knee. I think that's what I said. Yeah, let's go with that. And also very badly scarred over like 70% of their body. Their clothes, what they were wearing, are basically just rags now.
Hey, to be fair, he might have started that way. But if it's stable, I think he'll make the trip back.
Well, let's move then. I think I'm going to, as we're moving out, going to have to cast my last spell slot on myself. Cure wounds.
Heal them wounds.
You know, I'm doing really good with spell slots. I can do that for you.
That would be appreciated.
Cool. Alright, I'll do.
I cough up a bit of blood.
So Marcus, I'll get to you shortly, okay? First,
I'm fine.
Thanks.
It's fine.
I cough up a lung.
What'd you roll?
You got 7 healing back, plus, so 10 healing.
Cool.
I imagine this is all happening as you're making your way back.
Yeah, well,
you're limping.
Yeah, well, I normally have Callum at the front with me, so it kind of makes sense for me to like heal him first.
Yeah. You guys can make your way. It'll take you a little while to keep going. Like, it's about a 5-minute march to get back to the Dwarven camp.
Initiative.
Don't know if you talk about anything else particular on the way. I don't know, there was talk of healing the dwarf, but no, you know that they're stable, just not very well.
Yeah, I'll tend to him properly when we get back to his brother.
Is he unconscious? Is that the situation?
Yes, he's unconscious. Stable, but in a pretty bad condition.
Well, so that we don't have to carry him, I will lay my hands on him and give him 3 hit points.
Okay, so Baracus is carrying him at the moment. You go up and tap him and he goes, what's this?
Settle down. I'll take him off my shoulder and kind of prop him up.
Well, I'm not dead. I thought I'd be dead.
Don't,
Well,
be, don't be too loud. There might be more around near us.
you're right. Stage whispers, I got you.
Well,
Well,
just took you from a nest.
I thought I was a goner. I don't know. Oh, or my leg. No, my arm. Well, that makes sense. They got some pretty good chomps in me.
Aren't you dwarves kind of like already undead?
Oh, yeah, something like that. I think we're not really book learned to know, but we should be dead, and we're not dead. And then I thought I should die again, and I'm not.
I'm surprised that you speak our language. Your brother speaks Goblin and Draconic only.
Oh yeah, I know a few extra languages. I learned the commoner's tongue. Picked
Is
it
your
up.
name Cerberus?
That's me. I'm Cerberus. Must have been my brother Drunkus. I appreciate you coming to get me. I'm not much gonna be very fast walking with only one leg though. I think I'll still need someone to help, but I'll be a bit faster and being carried maybe.
Yo, you could use my automatron here. Just sit in there and she can ride forward. It's quite easy to maneuver.
I think it might be a little big for that thing, little one, but it'll help. I can definitely use it as a lean-to or a crutch sort of thing.
Just stick your stump in there and it'll walk for you.
It's a bit big for that one, so it'll help. It'll help, definitely help. But it is going to be slow going. We say that this happened about when you're in the turn and you're going back into the western section where Via's back. Would that be about right? Or what happened earlier? You went through you basically went through the little turn which went you into this section, and then you've got the larger cave bit where you've got the like stone columns, and then after a time it veers right back towards the dwarven camp. Well, anyway, you've done this, you've healed him up, and it makes the journey go a little bit faster. He's like, well, thank you for saving me. Don't know what my brother promised you, but we'll make good of it. So, what manner of beings ye be, anyway? I ain't seen some of your folk before.
Well, I'm a gnome.
Gnome, I know, I've heard of the gnomes. You look a bit different to the ones I recognize, though.
You seen her type? And I point to Thistle.
I ain't never seen one of her, but feel a strange little bit of familiarity with her nonetheless. Odd. Odd indeed. But never seen the like.
I mean, human, as you'd probably guess.
I met a human or two. That's where I picked up me tongue. We don't really like him, but from time to time one made it the way down here. Looking for trade or what have you. They brought the common tongue. Too much trouble, though. Like dogs, just yapping about.
There.
And you look like a devil feller. But, that's interesting. You don't seem like a devil.
You can call me Baracus. And yeah, I know some don't look too kindly down here and up there. Just depends where you are, I guess.
Oh no, I just read some stories and such, but you were carrying me out of trouble, and so you must be alright.
And the quiet one there, he's Chuck.
Oh, he just looks like a kid. What's a kid doing down here? Dangerous place.
He's the one that brought you back.
Well, I thank you, little child there. I appreciate the save.
No problems. I just want to make us combat effective.
I don't know how combat effective I'll be anymore. I think I'll be able to... Maybe I'll be able to figure something out, but it's going to be holding me down a bit now.
I was more talking about Baracus, him having to carry you and all.
Fair.
I could fashion like some swords on your stumps. You'd be very combat effective.
Well, I'm not really a fighter, more of just a miner. As long as I can swing me pick somehow, or figure some way to help, that's fine.
Maybe fashion some drill device.
We're not in a rush. We're not really in a rush to get what we need done anymore. We just chip away bit by bit, see what we can find. We'll figure it out.
Don't you worry, I'll make you something really cool.
All right, that's fine. So you guys continue on, walking past sort of like the little rooms off to the side, which you didn't actually go in, which you were told was sort of abandoned. This was a part of the actual mine, and they're like abandoned either tunnels or little quarters or whatever. You could check them out, or you can just keep on going towards the doors.
Do you know what's in this area?
Oh, just little abandoned tunnels we cut off a while back because of the infestation. There used to be a few more of us too. There's probably some tools and whatnot lying around. Maybe you'll get lucky and find some gems. Technically it's ours, but you did me a service, so you find it, you can have it.
Technically, you're not really living. Maybe we should have a look and see what tools we could salvage.
Yeah, but don't want to take too long.
I know, but tools. You could use some tools.
Oh, I certainly agree with that point, at least.
Mostly just be mining equipment, but you might get lucky.
Well, I could fashion something to your leg from the toolbox in there.
Suppose. Mining pick on me leg, maybe that could work.
A pick on your arm and a big drill on your leg.
Okay, so you're gonna go check out one of these rooms? One of these little
Yes.
tunnels?
Oh, that's weak. Smallest among us, but always thinking bigger picture.
Maybe I could make like something that hops up and down so you can just jump around much more effectively.
So do you go in just the first one? So as you're going across, eventually you come across one of these things off to your right.
We'll quickly go right.
Yeah. You make your way right, and you go in, and it sort of opens up into sort of like probably like a 40 by 60 misshapen cave area. And you can see areas where there were dwarven miners, would have been working away. You can see like a few pickaxes around. I'll tell you what, give me a high or lows.
Highs.
Yeah, other than like some pickaxes, like a bucket, a shovel, you don't really see much of any use.
Maybe a shovel foot.
You can take a shovel. The bucket looks
Shovel.
like it would still work as well.
Is there a hole in the bucket?
I don't know, dear Elijah. High or lows?
Lows.
That's a nice old reference.
There is, but it looks like it could be mended given time or resources or magic.
Okay, I will pick up the bucket and the shovel.
You can. Nothing
And the
stopping.
pick.
You're gonna struggle with all that with your small frame?
Oh, I think he's got it covered. He has the bag.
It's a bag of holding.
Oh yeah. You can throw all this in your bag hold. It's alright. Bucket, hole, pickaxe, rusty, and shovel rusty.
I'm gonna pump 4 points of lay on hands into me because I can't risk going outright.
Yeah, sure.
Going down outright. So just do that while that's going on.
You can do that. And there doesn't seem to be anything else of note in this room. Or this cave, really.
How many more of these do you think there are, Sobrus?
There's just a couple more, nothing too exciting. Like, some of them keep going. We were gonna make some new tunnels, but they don't go on forever. That's not how tunnels work. So, do you guys venture back out?
Yes, let's go back to the dwarves.
Okay. As you guys are leaving this area, you hear a voice say, "I had a look. It's a little bit freaky. You want to know about it now, or you want to know about it when we're back with the dwarves?"
Now! Tell us now, Candle.
All right. He's still invisible, by the way. You cannot see him as he's telling you this story. And he's like, "Well, it's all pretty jacked up in there. Air is swarming with the place is swarming. Ankegs, just big ones, little ones. Well, the normal sized ones are everywhere. They seem to be like the workers, just buzzing around carrying stuff. From time to time, you'll see like a young one, but they seem to stay like more like like closer to their big mamas. What I saw when I looked around, I kept on going, and the light seemed to be like pulsating somehow. Like it was getting stronger and weaker. I don't know. It was weird, like. But then I sort of turned the corner, turned left, and I saw this giant crystal. It was pretty huge, and it was pulsating with light. And something inside, some shadowy something. Maybe almost looked like a human or something, but couldn't have been. Maybe it was just a shape. Maybe it was some kind of monster. But I don't know what it was. I felt something coming off of it. And then I saw something real big crawling around it. And then I got the fuck out of there before they could make me, because I felt like that was enough. But that place is crawling, and there's something's in there.
Sounds like it's a bit too big to handle for us at the moment.
Yeah, but I reckon we want to mark that on the map.
I've
Come
got
back.
it covered.
Giant crystal in the middle of a massive ankeg nest. That nest was at least 5 times bigger than the one we took out, maybe even bigger.
It's a concern, given that we've just made ourselves enemies.
Well, I don't know. We've only got those 2 pursuers from Oasis. Maybe we can deal with them. The rest of them won't know unless they already know where we are. I really couldn't tell you. They seem to be pretty sneaky.
Dwarf, what's the name? Sober Dwarf. Do you have
Sobras.
any?
Sobras is my name.
Oh, well, Sobras.
I-
Do you use any explosives down here?
Explosives. We don't really have too much of that left. Maybe a little bit if we got lucky. There might be some lying around. We have a bit of acid. We have some fire. Might be able to help you out with some of that.
No, I need to make a very large explosive, I think.
Oh, I don't think we'd be able to help you there. Well, I reckon we want to get back out of here, guys. I think we just want to keep moving. There's a whole nest just stirring up there.
Yeah, let's get back to your brother.
Okay, so you guys continue on. As you continue on, like there's another little tunnel veering left. And as you sort of get to it, you can see that up ahead there is a tunnel veering right as well. You could check these out, or you could continue on to the dwarves.
We best just continue, I guess. Do you know what's down left and right here? Soberus?
There's more tunnels, I think. Nothing too exciting.
Well, let's get you back to your brother.
I'd appreciate that for sure. You can always check these tunnels out later. I don't think we have the strength to claim them, so if you can, whatever you find is yours.
Not sure if we've got the strength for it either at the moment, but maybe in the future we will.
Dude. So, you guys can continue on at this point. If you're just going to go back to the dwarves, you make it there. It's not too far from your position now. You sort of get to this sort of wide cave that they have been sort of mining in. And they're sort of just tapping away. And as you get closer, Drinker says, "Oh, you made it. It's good to see you. Hey, you made it. You saved me brother too. You're a resourceful lot, by the sounds of things."
Well, is he speaking Draconic or Goblin?
That would have been first bit would have been in Goblin, and the second bit would have been in Draconic. Let's say.
Okay.
Well, we brought him back, and I guess, I mean, what can you do for us now?
Well, I promised you some shinies, so I'll go get those. You'll have to decide. Let me just go speak with my brother. And And Drunkus goes over to Sobrus that you've saved, and they have a little chat in a language you do not no one understands. And Sobrus goes, since you can all understand me, I'll do the talking now, I suppose. So he's promised you something maybe he shouldn't have promised, but then the other things are all fine. He's promised you some. All right. So
He promised us your servitude.
he did not, and he would not have.
He did. He did. He said, they'll mine stuff for us.
It's not what he said. So I trust my brother and not you.
Probably a good call.
I trust
Well-
Tweak.
He did say that.
So we got options for you, depending on what you want. So he has set aside one thing. You can choose what you would like. Would you like our family pick, which a little bit magical, it's quite good. Or would you like some gems that we've managed to procure? We can give you quite a few of those. We can make you, if you'd rather, if you're of the craft in mind, we can provide you with several ores. You might be able to make something very good. We can definitely make it quite a bit that you can make something quite useful. Or we do have some mining supplies, acids, fire, alchemist fire. Maybe these things are interesting to you.
Perhaps we should discuss this. Would you allow us a few minutes?
All right. You're allowed to decide. Make your choice. And we are friends. We're just not going to be working for you for free. But if you got
What's
things to
the deal?
trade,
Well, let's go off to the side, have a chat.
you can go and chat.
Now, if we could get those ores, we could create something quite interesting. The alchemist fire would be very good too.
Yeah, the alchemist fire. While it's okay, that'll only last a certain amount of time.
Well, it's alchemist fire and acid. So you would get a fair portion of both of those.
Whereas that pick, what would that be exactly? Because I mean, a pick isn't technically a weapon per se.
So you suspect it's probably some sort of a war pick. You're not sure exactly how it would work.
It could be a pick that allows us to pick more minerals. I wonder if they have any magnesium. We have a forge, and I'm quite crafty. The ores are a good option.
But they might be good ores, good items, but they are limited. That pickaxe, we might be able to find a way to mine our own. I mean, look where we are.
And he made it fairly clear that he is open to trade for things. And I think ore and gems, they found them here, so there's obviously more to get if we can get them. Whereas I don't think we'll find many sources of magical items. It's probably worth a lot more than the rest of them.
Agreed. Have you made a
Is there a
decision?
third option? A third option, or
Gems.
yeah, same. My vote is the same. It's the same thing. Limited items.
The magical pick?
I think it makes most sense, but what about you, Chuck, Thistle? What do you feel?
I'm indecisive, so I'm happy to go with whatever you think is best.
Chuck is less indecisive, but still would like to go with what you guys go with.
Fair enough.
Well, that settles it then, I guess. I get the pick.
Oh, maybe. I mean, it might be better in someone else's hand until we need to go mining. But, yes, we can figure that out as we need to.
We have reached a decision.
Right. You picked something then, have you?
We pick something indeed.
I think we'll take the pick.
You just said that. What will you be picking? You said you made the pick. What will you be picking then?
The pick.
We've said
sit
this.
down.
You want to pick. You want to make your pick. Go for it. What would you like to pick?
The. Oh,
I think we'll pick the pick, as it is the best pick out of all the picks.
Oh, I was trying to.
not to be picky.
I was gonna play that out for a little bit longer and see if I could have messed with you a little bit longer. Maybe you'd pick the diamonds. I'm not too keen on giving up the pick, if I'm honest. But deal's a deal, as they say.
Or servitude. We're still open to that.
Oh, that won't be happening. That won't be happening today, at least. And so he brings out a pick. And it's basically like, it looks quite nice, and it's sort of got a little bit of it's not a mining pick. It's small enough to be wielded in one hand, and on one side is like a hammer, and on one side is a sharp edge, like a pick, and it is. And he basically brings it out and says, "All right, it's a pretty good little weapon. You can choose whether you hit someone with the sharp end or the flat end. It'll do what you want to do, depending on what you hit him with. If you hit him with the flat end, you'll do a little bit of extra damage. And if you hit him with the spiky end, you'll do a little bit of extra damage as well. Now, here's the kicker. If you hit it with the flat end, it'll do a little bit of extra fire damage. But if you hit it with the spiky end, it'll do a little bit of extra cold damage. Good for chipping up those rocks, making them brittle. Whereas with the hammer, the heat is good for keeping those weapons warm while you shape them.
Is it an ideal weapon against objects like this one? And I'll draw the great axe off my back.
That's a
Would it
fine
be,
weapon. No, I don't. That's an adamantine, I can tell. We know iron metals. We do have some of that lying around. You could have asked for that if you'd been so concerned. But no, this is not the same. So functionally, it's going to do an extra D4 of cold damage when you hit with the hammer, or an extra D4 of fire damage when you hit with the spike, and you can do either piercing or bludgeoning. But you have to choose. So it's either bludgeoning and cold or piercing and fire.
And would it use war pick or war hammer? Because
it's technically both. But they're essentially the same weapon. Just one does spike, one does bludgeoning, one does piercing.
Warhammer's versatile as well, that's all.
I thought Warpick was versatile as well. But it is versatile.
Well, that's not bad.
It's amazing.
Yep, it is the Stone Smasher hammer, but you saved me life, and hopefully you'll stick around and help with some of the other problems we got around here.
Well, we might be neighbours soon. We found a place where we're looking to hunker down in.
Ooh, we haven't had neighbors except for the crawlers and the ankegs for some time, so that could be nice. Someone not trying to eat us.
And I'm sure there could be options for trade and whatnot. You seem to be...
We don't need much. But what do you have?
Oh, I don't know too much about now, but in the future, you seem to have excess ores and shinies. We might be able to find stuff you want.
I could probably make some good leathers.
We like crafted things and things of that nature. Nice mining equipment. We don't need a lot. We don't eat. We don't sleep. We don't drink. Although,
Craft some good picks.
it'd be good to have some nice equipment. What we've been using ain't too good. Goes a bit slower with what we got, but we still go okay.
This one can also probably craft you a leg, potentially even an arm. Don't know how well it will function, but better than what you got.
That could be true. If you've got magical services, that could help us. But we could mostly just need help. If you would be willing to help us out with the problems we've got. That would be most advantageous. Sounds like from what that invisible fella was saying, there's quite a nest out there. Something. I'd like to get a look at that crystal there.
Do you come across magnesium at all down in these mines?
High or lows?
Lows.
Not really. Not since we came back. In the old days, yes. Might come across a vein here and there.
How do you make your explosives?
Us dwarves don't really do much mining with explosives. Bit of acid, just and elbow grease, smashing up them rocks. The hammer helps. The special magical hammer does help with the cold, makes things brittle.
Well, I guess we could help you out, but we'll need our rest. We'll need to
course.
prepare.
Chris, you're welcome to rest here if you'd like. We don't sleep, as we say. We'll keep an eye on you.
I'm assuming you can read Dwarvish. Your brother kind of implied that you could.
I know. I was never a big reader. I know some of the basics, but not really well versed in the written runes and whatnot.
'Cause we found
So
a
this, sorry, as you're speaking, does this book make any sense to you? I'll flick it over.
Which book do you have?
Early days dwarven book filled with graphs and kind of a workbook.
Okay, because you got the one from like the Arcanist's room, and then you've got the other one from like the foreman's room. It's just the first one.
Arcanist room, yep, first one.
She has a look. Well, it'll take me a little bit of time. If you'll have a sit down, I'll have a look. I am in quite a bit of pain, but I could use a rest myself. But it's all right. I'll do this for you. Or maybe let's all have a rest, and then I'll have a look at this book once I'm feeling a little bit more right.
perfect.
Okay, you can all take a short rest. It is uneventful.
I get back second wind and instantly use it again.
And Sobros in this time is sort of just having a bit of a glance at the book. It's taking him a bit of time, but he is also trying to do his best to patch himself up with like whatever he can. It's a bit tough. He's so badly acid burned now that there's not a lot that he's able to do, but he's able to do a little bit here and there. He's able to roll his hit dice in the same way that you guys are, so he's feeling a little bit perky after the short rest is over. And he goes, well, I'll get looking into this proper then. If you stick around, you're welcome to stick around and or if you need to get back, that's fine too. But it'll probably take me another hour or two to get much out of this. But if you're around, I'll tell you if I find anything interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we can go check out those tunnels we saw earlier.
That sounds like an idea.
You can if you want. So are you going to go check out these other tunnels, or are you going to wait while he's reading the book?
Well,
Insight. Sorry, mate.
You want an insight?
I'm going to insight check as I give that book over and the honesty of this undead creature man.
Yeah, give me an insight.
Where is it? There it is. It's 7.
7. You don't think he's trying to get anything by you. You suspect that this book is probably... he says he's not much of a reader. And this book, it seemed like there were sections that were quite complicated with words and other sections that weren't even words, but more like formulas and stuff that even you could sort of tell from your just basic study of it. So you suspect that he's just not very book learned, and it would just take time to get something out of this.
I'm fine with leaving the book if you all are.
Yeah, I mean, none of us can read it anyways, so...
Oh, and now, I should say, you had that short rest. The hammer does require attunement. If someone wants to use it, they will need to attune to it during the short rest.
Does anybody else want this Warhammer? No? No, why is I going to start tuning to it right now?
Twig, I'll fight you for it. I know I have recently got a weapon that I'm not very good at wielding that weapon yet. Maybe some more training with it, but can I use this in battle? And whenever you need to smash a wall or go look for something, I can certainly hand it over.
He can be your minion.
What item? What weapon do you normally use? I know I should know this.
I have a light crossbow. I usually use my ranged attacks, but I guess you could use it. I'm not sure how I'd fare in close combat. I'm sure I could find some spells or work on some combat abilities.
You can't wield a longsword, can you?
And to craft it, crafting things with it would be very useful.
Well, you do still have that scimitar. It's not the one that you've enchanted, but
I've been sharpening this longsword, but even so, I don't know when it's going to break on me, and kind of not really concerned, but I've kind of. I mean, they're going to be asking for it over in Homestead, I believe.
I'll give you the diamond that I found for that.
Unlike any of you, I have little use for a diamond, I'm afraid.
I guess you could use it, put it to more effect than me. I would only be using it to craft amazing gear for everybody in the group.
I don't think that's much of a crafting hammer, more of a hitting hammer.
Yeah, the intention behind it is that the heat of the hammer, when you strike with the hammer, will sort of keep the blades that you're working on warm, so you can sort of shape them for a bit longer.
Well, like we have a magical forge, I guess. Here we go. You can have it.
Tell you what, when we hit into that forge and we head on in, it's yours. For forging, absolutely.
Well, just I'll take second pick. So if you find something down here that's a little better than this, I would take it.
Yeah, and what was with all the pick jokes? I'm looking at everyone.
They weren't jokes.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Cerberus was trying to make it so frustrating that you stopped asking for the pick.
The whole pig thing was giving me a headache.
It's hilarious.
My brains.
It's comedy gold, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
Another mining joke. God damn it.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. So you're gonna go explore these other 2 rooms. I'm gonna do a high or lows for the 2 rooms. I'm not gonna tell you the results, but there might be things in there depending on how well these happen. So room number 1, first room on the left as you go back in. High or lows, someone?
Lows.
One wasn't voiced.
First. Okay, and second room.
Lows.
Lows? Okay. So, you guys are heading back into these little rooms. So you go into the first room first, this little room on the left. It's not really a little cave offshoot.
Yep.
Okay. What do you do? So it's smaller than this first one. It appears to just open up into sort of like a 10 by 15, and it looks like they were starting to make a new tunnel off here, but then stopped. Again, you can see pickaxes, you can see a bucket, you can see shovels, like everything's sort of covered in dust. Like it looks like, because of the angle of where this room is, like sort of dust got into this room and sort of covered off everything a little bit.
Walk in, grab up one of those pickaxes and hand it to Tweak and said, you said you wanted a second pick, and just chortle to myself.
More than 2 times the height of Tweak, but yes, you can do that.
I'll take the pick.
Is this a mining pick?
I'm so humbly grateful for your generosity. Thank you so much.
I smack my forehead.
I would actually have a bit of a tummy rumble laugh, and yeah, maybe just kind of start looking through the debris around.
Hey, give me an investigation. I'll let 2 people give me investigation checks.
I'll investigate. I think that's something I can do quite well.
Hope so. I didn't roll well.
Natural 1 plus 6. 7.
Funnily enough, you still beat me. I rolled a 4. I have +0.
Okay, you don't seem to notice anything else. But then as you're sort of moving away, you do sort of kick just a little, like, it's just like a little raw gem. Doesn't look like a diamond or anything. Maybe just like a really raw opal. Doesn't look like it's worth much, but it'll be worth something.
I'll pick away at it just for fun.
Yeah, might be worth like 5 to 10 gold once you clean it up.
So what is it? Is it onyx?
Opal.
Opal.
But you don't really see anything else in this area.
Next room, I guess. There's not much else that sticks out.
Yeah. So you continue on, and basically this tunnel is now veering right. It's a little bit tight for this first little bit, and then it opens up into a wider area. And then it continues on, and then it opens up even wider to the right. It looks like they were planning to, they'd started to dig like a shaft going down here, but it's not really. It only goes down a couple of feet. It hasn't been finished. Again, you see some pickaxes, a bucket. Oh, the bucket in the other area, that was a non-holy bucket, by the way. You could have taken that bucket. A little bit rusty, but no holes. You see a similar sort of things, mining pick, shovels. But yeah, this one is not as too dusty, but you do sort of, there are still places that things could be hidden potentially. Again, I'll let 2 people make investigation checks. You can pick who.
I'll give it a go.
I still dare say Tweak is the best option as well. Just don't.
16?
Oh, nice.
And that's -1.
And
Yeah.
Twig, what about yourself?
20.
20. Okay. You're going through this room, and you don't find any powders or anything, but you do actually see just a little bit of residual black powder. Not enough to do anything with, but enough to know that at some point they were, and it's by sort of the shaft. It looks like they did have some, they were playing around with it at some point, but you can't find anything usable. Maybe you can harvest a couple of specks.
I will scrape up that speck.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand or survival check to see how much you can gather, or see how well you can gather this little bit.
Sleight of hand it is. Hang on. 13.
Okay, you get a little bit. You get a pinch. You have a pinch of black powder.
Starts with a pinch.
And that's all you sort of managed to scrape up. Like, it looks like maybe they were planning to sort of spread it around and use it on this shaft, but you're not sure. But you have a pinch of black powder. But you can't find anything else. From here, you can make your way back to the dwarves, or you can continue trying to search. I'm going to say that you've spent like another solid hour, like just sort of looking around these rooms.
Making hilarious pick puns.
I don't know if you were making any like dust puns, as like Tweak was like furiously trying to gather up this little black specks of dust that he identified, but probably is strange to all of you.
Yeah, that'd just look like dirt to us. Really fine.
Scavenging.
I mean, especially to you. It smells a bit different than dirt, though. But to you, it's just a speck of thick dirt. Well, yeah, you guys can go back. Oh, no, let's say when you get back to the dwarves, Sobra says, well, I found out a little bit about this book, and I'll tell you all about it next week. That's it for this episode of the High or Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at High or Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Feepster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.